bubbles. The mind boggles, bubbles. Yeah, bubbles. And Bubbles, a 5-year-old who was actually triggered by Bubbles. And this is how I figured it out. I get bullied. I get bullied a lot. Moving on TV gets bullied a lot, stalked and bullied. Or maybe that's in the past, or say we don't anymore. But you can sign a change.org petition to end the bullying and see why. But anyway, we are the light, okay? And I'm here with love. So the bubbles. What's going on with the bubbles? So I got bullied today and triggered these people. And I thought, well, where's this coming from? Because I'm not worried about them anymore. I'm starting to grow. I've got loads of support. Things are good. And I went inside, and I was 5 years old. And I saw bubbles everywhere. And it was my 5-year-old. There were bubbles coming up all over the place, bubbling up. The rage and everything was bubbling up, bubbling up, bubbling up, bubbling up. It was 5 years old. My 5-year-old little girl was in the bath, and she was terrified of all the bubbles. I could smell the bubbles. You know, you don't know with children sometimes. If they're sensitive like me, an empath, they might be frightened of bubbles. Be very careful with your children if they're sensitive, you know. Make sure that you release the bubbles really gently and slowly, because if you put them in and they build up too quickly, you might frighten your child. And so the bubbles were building up everywhere, and I was 5 years old. And so I felt it, and I felt it, and I felt it. I let the bubbles come up. I embraced it, and then I was free. The bullying didn't bother me anymore. I was free. So that's what I'm giving you, a little tip today. How old are you when you get triggered? Close your eyes. Where do you need to go to in your body? With me, it was the solar plexus again. The whole body was bubbling up all over the place. You'll feel it. I was getting hotter and hotter and hotter. The heat was everywhere. My temperature was going up, bubbling up everywhere. Where does it happen for you? Get in touch with it. Love it. Love that part of you. Embrace it. And if you are a parent, be very gentle with your children. Sometimes the bubbles might frighten them. You may love them, you may like the smells, and you may love the colors, but it might be too much for a 5-year-old who is very, very sensitive, like me. I actually got shocked. There you go. Love you lots. Contact me, movingontv1@gmail.com. I hope you enjoy these little programs I'm doing about triggers to help you with triggers. And every time I get triggered, I'm going to teach you so you can do it too. If you want to work with me, movingontv1@gmail.com. I barter as well because I believe that everyone deserves to be happy. I love you. Thank you. Bye-bye. Hey guys, welcome to Moving On TV. And here is a little story for you called The Radiogram. Okay, the reason I'm telling you this story is because when I teach you to stay sane one day at a time, sometimes things come up that need to be sorted out. And with me, one of my biggest issues was analyzing, confusion and analyzing. I couldn't function for confusion and analyzing. And so I thought, well, it's time to really look at it. And so I closed my eyes and I went inside. I went to my solar plexus area, and there was a whole bunch of wires all mixed up together. This program is called the radiogram. This little message is called the radiogram. So basically, there were all these wires mixed up inside in my solar plexus. And I was taken back to being 4 years old. And when I was 4 years old, little Lauren climbed up onto a shelf and tried to bring down a radiogram. Probably because she was analyzing, analyzing. She was in her anal stage, basic, trying to figure stuff out. So I brought it down on top of my head, and my father nearly killed me. He hit me Well, I don't think he hit me, but he hit me with his mouth, you know, not physically, and really scared me and told me I was a very bad girl. And that, of course, what happens? That gets stuck in your subconscious. So when I was hit with confusion and didn't know what was happening, I didn't realize that was my 4-year-old that was shocked. She got shocked when she got hit on the head first. Then her dad shouted at her. So basically 2 shocks, one after the other. And so every time confusion, or Lauren got confused and didn't know what was going on, she was really 4 years old. So in this process, I went back into my solar plexus. I went on a little journey and I asked my dad to come back. And he was there. We opened up the radiogram. Instead of me having to climb up and drag it down on top of me, we opened it up. And we looked inside and we saw these wires, loads of wires, same wires that were cross-wired inside my solar plexus, causing all this emotional turmoil. We looked at it and Dad explained to me how radiogram works, because Lauren was in the anal stage of analyzing. He was 4 years old. Do you get it? And of course, as soon as Dad explained to me how vibrations and waves work and why the sound gets louder, when the sound gets louder, everything vibrates quicker. When it gets soft, everything vibrates slower and more gently. As soon as Dad explained that to me, it's like, oh, Daddy, I get it now. I understand. I don't have to grow up and analyze everything anymore and get confused all the time when I don't understand something. And of course, I got inner peace. Try it. Where did you get shocked when you were a child? What's your biggest trigger? If you get triggered, look at it. In the next few weeks, I'm going to look at all my triggers. Whenever they come, I'm going to sit here and I'm going to explain to you how I release them, how I love them, how I embrace them instead of struggling. I love my 4-year-old. If you have a 4-year-old or a 5-year-old or a 2-year-old or a 7-year-old who keeps saying, are we there yet? And they're so confused and mixed up and mucked up, don't tell them they're bad. If you're stressed out, just say, look, I'm tired, sweetheart. I tell you what, when you go to bed tonight, I'm going to sit down, I'm going to give you a bedtime story, and I'm going to explain to you everything you want to know as part of your bedtime story. Because you can make things up. You're a storyteller. Like me, we're all storytellers. So that's a little story about the radiogram. And I love my little 4-year-old. And I forgave my dad and said, Dad, I understand you were stressed, you were tired. You didn't know any better. I love you, Dad. I forgive you. I release this to the universe. And now, if something comes back to confuse me, it's obviously my little 4-year-old. And if it's not my 4-year-old, maybe it's my 5-year-old. It could be a 5-year-old that went through something, but we need to get in touch with that. I love you. Take care. Have a beautiful day. Stay sane daily. Bye. Contact me at movingontv1@gmail.com. And if you want to stop the bullying that we get, please join mychange.org and end the bullying from Rick Productions. And it's all on there, why they started to bully me, because I wouldn't work with them because they're slime. Thank you. Oh. Blood and bullying. Right, I'm going to leave you with a program where I was interviewed about the bullying that is going on with Moving On TV, where Vlad and I did a big program about it, as I have got to go out, but I'm going to leave this with you now. So anyone who's innocent, anyone who's joining Moving On TV because they want to heal, you need to watch this. You need to know what we are and how we function. You need to know the truth about what Moving On TV is, and it's all on here. I can see people are joining. Thank you so much. Please subscribe for more programs. And here is the bullying program with Vlad.
many people.
Okay, I'm just going to refresh it because sometimes I need to refresh because I don't have the best internet. I've got Ethernet at the moment, so I'm doing my best, guys, to give you everything, to give you my heart and my soul, to help you stay sane on a daily basis. So this is one of the most important programs I would like you to watch, because then you'll know what happened and how I get bullied so badly. And you need to know this, because you could be genuine people that won't watch, because these people will try to destroy Moving On TV in every way they possibly can.
So I really,
and there's so many people who are in such a need, in such a great need, especially within this health, mental health thing, especially after what the whole world has gone through. Now there's so many people, thousands of people who are depressed, who are on the verge of committing the suicide, who are like
really careful.
Actually, guys, I'm not going to be able to show you this. Hang on.
People need you. People need me. People.
I'm just going to bring myself back on. Hang on a sec. I'm flipping the camera. Hey guys, this is Lauren Hope Glory from Moving On TV. Yeah, we get bullied. We have been bullied non-stop for months and months and months. And I can't put the program on now for you, but you can watch it. I'm going to watch it. Hang on a sec. I just need to take this call. Okay?